Bright QT. Every student matters.
So here we have some questions that we'll look at, and we'll also revise what we have just learned. The first one is, the agencies which look into the complaints of the consumers are popularly called consumer courts, consumer commissions, consumer forums, consumer cells. It is consumer forums. The next question. The organization which helps guide the consumers on how to file cases in the consumer court is popularly called. The organization which helps guide the consumers on how to file cases in the consumer court is popularly known as consumer cells, consumer associations, consumer forums, consumer societies. It's consumer forums. The answer for the question, the agencies which look into the complaints of the consumers are popularly called consumer commissions. The next question, the act which was enacted to protect the consumers, Consumer Redressal Act, Right to Information Act, Consumer Protection Act, Right to Represent Act. The correct answer is Consumer Protection Act. The next question, when was the Consumer Welfare Fund created in India? Was it 1937, 1955, 1986 or 1992? The correct answer is 1992. The next question, World Consumer Rights Day is observed on March 15th, April 15th, May 15th, June 15th. The correct answer is March 15th. The next question, who is a consumer? Consumer is someone who uses or consumes goods and services. Okay, the next question, what is meant by adulteration? The failure on the part of the sellers or traders to maintain the quality of goods or products is called adulteration. The next question, write the full form of COPRA. The full form is Consumer Protection Act. The next question, what is Consumers International? The international body of consumer movement is called Consumers International. The next, state the meaning of right to be informed. Right to be informed means that all citizens have the right or should be ensured of all information about the functions of the government departments. Okay. The next question, name 3 consumer protection measures. So the first one is legislative measures. The second one is administrative measures. And the last one, technical measures. Alright. The next question, give the classification of consumers on the basis of nature of consumption. So there are the consumers are of 3 types on the basis of nature of consumption. The first one is called direct consumers. The second one is called consumers by exchange. Consumers by exchanging products, and the last one is called modern consumers. Alright. The next question, what is meant by underweighing? When goods sold in the market are sometimes not measured or weighed correctly, it is called underweighing. Alright. The next question, how ignorance of consumer results in consumer exploitation? Due to the ignorance of consumers, they possess no knowledge about the price, quality, composition, conditions of use, terms of purchase, etc. This often causes exploitation among consumers. Alright. The next question. What is consumer forum? Describe any 3 features of consumer forum. Consumer movement has led to the formation of various organizations. These organizations are called consumer forums. Three features of consumer forums are: number 1, these forums provide guidance to consumers on how to file cases in the consumer court. Number 2, it represents individual consumers in the consumer courts. And the third feature, it receives financial support from the government to create awareness among the people. Alright. The next question. Write a brief note on consumer movement. Consumer movement rose or arose out of dissatisfaction of the consumers against unfair trade practices. Earlier, it is an organized and systematic movement aimed to safeguard the interests of consumers. It developed in the 1980s and the 1990s. With the growing liberalization of economy. All right. So the next question, what administrative measures are adopted by the government for consumer protection? The government, through the public distribution system or PDS, protects the consumers. The PDS prevents hoarding of goods as well as black marketing. The government purchases goods and products at predetermined prices. The goods and products are stored and distributed among the poor. Through the rationing system. All right. The next question, what is the rationale behind the enactment of Consumer Protection Act of 1986? So why was this act or the Consumer Protection Act of 1986 enacted? It was enacted to provide redressal for the problems and exploitations experienced by the consumers. Its main purpose was to protect the interests of consumers. Redressal agencies were set up at district, state, and national levels. These were also called consumer courts. Alright. The next question. Explain the duties of consumers while purchasing the goods. So here are some duties. Number 1. The consumers should look at the quality, price, date of manufacture, of the goods. Number 2. Consumers should purchase goods with logos of ISI or AG mark, which indicates the quality and standard of the product or goods. Number 3. The consumers should be aware of legal procedures if he or she is exploited or cheated. The consumer should be aware of his or her duties. So these are some of the duties of consumers while purchasing the goods. The next question, what are the various factors causing consumer exploitation? So some factors which cause consumer exploitation are: number 1, the ignorance of the consumers. Here you can also add how the consumers, when they do not know or have any knowledge of the price, quality, legal procedures, etc., then they are often exploited. Number 2, when goods and services are not available in the market in sufficient number or amount, giving rise to hoarding and black marketing. All right. Number 3, the unfair manner in which the market works due to the control and power over it from few rich producers. All right. The next question, explain the various rights of the consumers. The consumers can enjoy or are provided various rights, and they are 4 basic rights. Okay. Right to choice, right to information, right to safety, and right to be heard. They have the right to be informed of the performance or production and quality of goods and services. They have the right to freely choose goods and services. They have the right to be heard in all decision making processes. Making processes related to consumers. They have the right to file a case in the consumer court in case of exploitation or harassment. Okay. The next question, how does the government protect the interests of the consumers? The government protects the interests of consumers by following measures. By taking the following measures. They are: number 1, legislative measures. Number 2, administrative measures. And number 3, technical measures. Alright, now this we have already done in one of the questions earlier, so you can add few points to explain what is legislative measures, what is administrative measure, and what is technical measures. Alright, the next question, how does exploitation of consumers take place in the market? Explain with the help of any 5 facts. So number 1 is underweight and under measurement. Number 2 is substandard quality. Number 3 is high prices. Number 4 is duplicate articles. Number 5, adulteration. Number 6, lack of safety devices. Number 7, false information. Number 8, rough behavior and undue conditions. Alright, so these are the exploitations that are experienced or that are being taken on the exploitations that are being taken on consumers that take place in the market. Now here I have just cited the main points, right? And you can give examples to each one of them. Like for example, the last point, rough behavior and undue conditions. So in this you can say that how when sometimes the consumers in its purchase of goods and products are forced to pay extra charges than what its actual charge is, right? So undue conditions are applied. In the 7th point, false information. When sometimes products are sold, they are sold claiming certain informations which are not true. For example, when you buy milk powder, the seller sells it by saying it has high content of calcium and good for the babies. But then that is false information and it is not true. So in that manner, they make false information to make more sale of the product. So in that manner, you can write each line for all the points cited here. Alright. So with that, we have come to the end of this chapter. So this chapter was mainly to help you understand what consumers consist of, who are consumers, and how consumers consume in various ways. And in its consumption, how consumers also face exploitations, harassments, right? And how the government works together to fight those exploitations, to prevent those harassments, and also to protect the interests of the consumers. All right. So with that, I end this chapter, and I hope that you had a nice time learning with me about consumers and their awareness. And I hope that we will see each other soon again, learning about another interesting topic in the next class. Until then, take care.